Hey, CPAT here with another Exceed commentary, and I lost a little bit of content. I forgot to hit the record button, but we are here. We've recorded. We've started to hit the record button. We should be good. So I've seen actually game one of this set already. This is a post commentary. Thanks to MiX for supplying the recording. It's a post commentary of a draft tournament featuring season 6 run in the Breakfast Club Discord. And here we have a match Here we have a match between MiX and Reggie. This is a Swiss format tournament. Both these players are 1-0. We actually saw Reggie's match last week versus Erica. And MiX obviously also won his match. I don't think we actually got to see that. Don't know who it was against. But yeah, this is a draft tournament. As MiX drops that shiny bag twice for just the regular vanilla bag. And so yeah, it's a draft tournament. MiX won the coin toss, so he was able to go first. He's rocking the team of Carmine, Propeller, Plague versus Reggie, who's bringing out the Mole Knight, which is a character I think he's most known for, alongside the Enkidu and the Fight. Weirdly enough, I didn't know Reggie was a Fight player. Is Reggie a Fight player? I mean, I'm assuming so. I don't really think you can randomly pick Fight. Like, I don't think he's... I feel like Fight players are... Fight's in that tier where, he's not the best character, in my opinion. But, so, like, it's also, like, a very specific character to bring out. So I'm assuming Reggie's a Fight player. Anyway, rules formats. This is a best-of-5 tournament. As we see MiX's Carmine being brought out against the Mole Knight. The character that's Reggie's probably most well known for. So yeah, this is a best of 5 tournament. The winner is allowed. So basically, you must win with all your characters to advance to the next to win the set rather. And this is it's a little bit of a weird format where the loser must continue to play the same character that they were playing beforehand, which we saw a little bit last week, a little bit of an unfortunate scenario where, who was it? Someone was stuck on Byakuya, and it looked like they didn't really know how to play Byakuya super well, and they were just stuck on Byakuya the full set, and then got swept. I think it was actually Reggie versus Erica. I think Reggie actually did that to Erica. It was just like a super unfortunate scenario. It looks like Mole Knight has won the coin toss. We'll get that turn 1 mole prep going. And Carmine, relatively probably the most polarizing character in season 6 as far as not only opinions on the character. Like, some people have claimed this character is like boss tier, some people have claimed this character is S tier. Some people say he's all right. I'm personally in the camp that I don't think he's boss tier. I'll say that much. But I feel like every time Carmine gets brought up, there's kind of this discussion that comes on afterward. As Reggie opts for the turn 1 mole prep, moving that burrow to range 3. Of course, burrow, just in case you guys don't know, burrow, when Mole Knight initiates, he can initiate from the burrow, which basically means that he has before advance or retreat to the space as the mix-up comes out into the sweep. So mix-up is a pretty good option from season 6 into Mole Knight. Just those little minute steps. Being able to step on the burrow is one really, really good way to mitigate a lot of Mole Knight's shenanigans. Because obviously you can't advance or retreat to a spot that's already occupied. I think, actually you can technically, but burrow says unoccupied. And it's a wild swing coming out from Reggie at range 3, which really sucks. That focus will get poked out by the sweep, unable to hit back as well. Pulls a card, pulls that second focus, reading just unavailable. Focus also... so Mole Knight doesn't really have any, if I'm not mistaken, Mole Knight doesn't really have any, like, defensive melee options outside of focus and sweep, so pulling those 2 focuses out early it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah, we can actually just take a look at that Mole Knight kit. Oh, Mole Knight has Belly Slide. I forget about Belly Slide. Never mind. But, I mean, 2 focuses down is always nice. You don't have to worry about that reading or that threat. Reggie opting for the range 3 mix-up. I think Reggie's one of those players that will play Spike there randomly. Opts for the dive there. So we'll dive over MiX, and we'll do 3. MiX draws a card, replaces his focus, opts for prepare action again. Notably, Carmine's still standing at that burrow, but Reggie builds his first Gauge. So Gauge is extremely important on Mole Knight. That backside UA is so good. Getting that +2 power, I expect it to be good, as MiX basically null beats this with the gimme that. Armors through that burrow dig, however Mole does build that second Gauge. As the first Blood Pool comes out from Carmine, gets teched immediately. Second one probably coming out in turn. Yep, there it is. Blood Pool, as of course is the before, if your attack's in range, give it additional range and +2 power, and then they can chain and cascade off each other. So if you let Carmine set up, you're going to have a bad time, basically. And I think Mole actually I've actually played this matchup before, pretty recently even. I played Mole into Carmine. I played from the Mole side. It didn't feel terrible. The burrow, like the quick burrow placements, felt like they were actually able to counteract the additional range that Carmine has quite well, especially on backside where you can place that burrow really, really far away. And I felt like I was actually able to outrange Carmine, which was interesting. As MiX opts for a strike here, this is going to be that range 2 grasp. Just gets blocked. This is a free block, of course, with the defend boost. Actually, no, it's not a free block because, of course, +2 power. So Mole Knight will have to spend 1 Gauge, but gets that third Gauge already. So Mole Knight looking pretty good so far. Carmine, weirdly enough, has like EX Dive in his hand as an option. Wow, it's actually going to strike with the EX Dive. Technically, this is a mix-up between EX Dive and EX Spin. Without any Blood Pools on the board, those are the only 2 cards that hit. Unless Devoured actually technically also hits if there are 3 Ultras engaged, but that's not the scenario. But yeah, this is EX Dive or EX Spin. Notably, the thing about EX Spin is just such a weird combat option here, because like it doesn't actually do anything to change this scenario of Mole Knight being able to initiate from the burrow next turn. Reggie says no to the mix-up and says, okay, I'm just going to cross out. Cross beating both his options because it pushes it takes Mole Knight back to range 5. So this is going to be a headbutt coming out from Reggie almost assuredly. It is the headbutt. Let's see if MiX gets the second twist. Oh. Ooh. Gets the DP answer. That is, yeah, and that's basically the only answer to headbutt there. At speed 6, such a good card, such a good reliable card for Mole in most cases. But Carmine, of course, has that DP, able to place it down as a Blood Pool afterward. Did lose a Blood Pool by wild swinging. Can get those back though with the Rain Blood. But that was a very good wild swing there from MiX, beating out that headbutt, and that changes the complexion of the game completely, because Mole was going to be able to exceed that turn, but not anymore. And not only that, Carmine gets it set up for the next turn. Back to Carmine here, opting to initiate with the assault, interestingly enough. So this assault will have +2 power on it, I believe 1/6/5. Gets checked by the sweep, so 6 for 6 trade. Even as far as health totals and gauge are concerned. Carmine also gets that thrust yoinked, which is a very, very good pull. We'll just have to prep. Notably low on cards, which means low on Blood Pools in hand, which means it'll be time for Carmine to exceed maybe soon. Maybe. Actually, we don't know yet. But maybe not a bad time. Nope. MiX just says, okay, I'm just going to prep here. Mole, of course, has to take a turn to exceed and then take a turn to reposition that burrow. A little bit slow sometimes, but MiX is giving him the time to do so. So not the worst thing in the world. Maybe Superior coming out here from MiX. Yeah, Superior coming out here from MiX. Notably, one focus, or 2 focuses and 1 sweep down, and 1 belly slide down as well, from Mole Knight, which means this EX Grasp that Carmine is holding is actually a pretty good option. And it's a pretty good option on defense as well, so MiX just opts to prep, draws that double block as well. Back to Mole Knight here. But Mole Knight will have to be a little bit concerned here about the EX Grasp, because not too many options from Mole Knight will beat that. given the board state. And wow, opting to strike from the burrow. Could this be the second like sweep to bait out the EX Grasp? Because the EX Grasp just feels like such a free option, given this deck comp. It looks like MiX is just going to go for it. Did Reggie call it out successfully? No, he did not. He opted for the Diving Dig, which is the range 1 Spike like. Reggie will take 4 from that EX Grasp. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe just went for the bet anyway. Said, okay, that EX Grasp only going to do 4 damage to me, not the end of the world. But now, I mean, Carmine has built up quite a life total here, a life total lead, excuse me, 21 to 14. Carmine deciding to leave Reggie in the corner. Of course, Carmine not exceeded, so can't get those blood pools from the gauge yet. So if you move Mole Knight to the other side, then you're gonna have a real problem when Mole Knight just says, okay, I'm gonna boost backstep to move back to range 6, and then suddenly, like, what are you gonna do as Carmine? You can move a little bit, step on that burrow, but you're losing some serious value there, as Mole Knight boosts defend from range 1. So yeah, keeping Mole Knight in the corner there makes perfect sense to me. Also has that superior boost. Text the defend and strikes with that EX sweep. Let's see if Reggie can call this one successfully. So superior, just one of those really, really good boosts. Oh no, it's the Grasp not going to be able to check that EX sweep, so Grasp will deal 2 damage. At least gets Carmine a little bit further away, but Reggie will take 7 back, and now down an immense amount of life. Yeah, also gets to pull a card. Looks like Reggie might be lagging a little bit here at 400. Actually, 400 ping seems like about fine, but maybe that's what's happening. Oh, even MiX looking at that 400 ping and be like, what's going on here, man? Pulls the Assault. At the very least, that burrow is in like a favorable spot, although not going to be used just yet. Boosting that Erupt instead, so that's additional range, and whenever Mole Knight gets hit, he gets to deal 2 damage back. So notably, we have only 1 blood pool in hand from MiX, unexceeded again, so can't bring those blood pools back. Does, however, have that Rain Blood to retrieve that 1 Wild Swung Ultra and put that back down at the cost of 1 damage, as looks like you blank, this is the end. I don't know how this card was printed, but coming out there. And an immediate strike from the burrow from Reggie. So just a reminder, this is a +2 power strike. One of the reasons why I think Mole Knight does okay. Did I actually discuss? So I know in the last, so I know I mentioned this, but I've already seen this game. I've forgotten nuances about it, but I saw most of the game. I just forgot to hit the record button. I did commentary over it as well. But so I don't remember if I said, but I actually played this matchup quite recently and didn't from the Mole side, and actually felt pretty good for Mole. This looks like the Pulverize will come out. Will probably beat everything except that Diving Dig. And nope, the Diving Dig did not come out, just the Burrow Dig. So we'll advance to, we'll deal 3 damage after armor to Mole, or to Carmine, excuse me, and then Mole will take 4 back. And of course, I think there's 2 more additional damage coming out from that Erupt as well, because Mole Knight got hit. As Carmine does the Carmine Shuffle, stepping back onto that Burrow. Moving that Blood Spike forward. Interestingly enough, Mole chooses to put that Burrow range 3. Carmine can, in theory, just shuffle the Blood Spike forward and then move himself forward. That Assault is an option that hits right now as well at 1-2-6-5. But yeah, I said it in the last recording that I did play this matchup. And this matchup didn't feel so bad for Mole Knight. Felt like the Burrow actually had decent counterplay against the Blood Spikes. As here comes that Rain Blood now, bringing out that Be Devoured, putting it back to putting it in the same exact spot as the other Ultra. MiX making a little sandwich here. Says no, doesn't want the sandwich anymore. But yeah, I mean, 2 Blood Spikes at range 3. At range 3 from Mole Knight means that thrust that was just drawn from MiX is a 0 to 3, 7, 6 option right now. That's incredibly scary to deal with. Also has like that assault shape as well. As Mole just opts to prepare here. MiX checking for blocks, saying, okay, there's one block left. That deck is looking mighty small there, so this thrust is not guaranteed. Will ruin my setup as well. Doesn't get advantage afterward, although I guess in theory he can just assault instead. If he wants to get advantage afterward to maybe try to set up. Draws that ha 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 be devoured, and that is an option that hits that hits everywhere as well if Carmine chooses to. No, Carmine doesn't even need to step forward because he has 2 ultras in the discard. So it would be a 1 to 3, 7, 6, which then gets augmented by the blood spikes twice, so 1 to 5. So not quite there yet, but can almost reach Mole Knight at range 6. However, did give Mole Knight some time to set up in theory. So let's see if Mole Knight can take advantage of this with the strike. Does have that +1 range, so notably Thrust will lose his second copy of Headbutt and second copy of Cross. MiX does have, so yeah, MiX checking for Headbutts here. I think he checked for Crosses already. Can even in theory strike with the U blank, but that is a 0 to 2, so we'll lose to the Cross. Wow, and Reggie does play the Cross. I'm not gonna lie, I actually totally forgot about that. I thought Reggie lost at that strike, but I guess not. MiX will take 3 damage because that Mole Knight's Burrow will augment the damage by 2, and Carmine's no longer set up. Carmine is no longer set up, though that second blood pool going to the gauge because it was triggered. MiX, however, boosting assault, air dash. It has to close exactly 3, but that's perfect. Lands directly on the Burrow and denies Mole Knight from being able to use this turn. Like really fortunate placement there from MiX, being able to just do that and land in the perfect spot. Back to Reggie here. Reggie will strike. That haha be devoured is a speed 6. That'll beat out almost anything. Reggie striking with the block push. I don't really know what that block push is beating at 3 HP. Like maybe trying to anticipate a block or a sweep coming out from Carmine. But no, that block push is not winning combats, especially when that insane 1 to 4 9 6 ultra is a thing. But yeah, anyway, MiX takes game 1 with the Carmine. Is now left with the Plague and the Propeller Knights against Reggie, of course, who is forced to stay on the Mole Knight. Won't be too sad to be forced to on that Mole Knight, as I think MiX just deleted his Mole Knight reference and replaced it with a Plague Knight reference. Whatever, not a big deal. Game 2, MiX says, okay, I have 330 health. Quickly reverses it to 30. Looks like they're going by the rule of loser decides to go first. It was weird how this was never actually stated. But no, loser goes first. We can take a look at MiX's hand. MiX is on Plague Knight, which means that attacks can be... He can graft the before hit and after triggers of attacks onto other attacks, quote-unquote randomly. Of course, if you're playing Plague Knight correctly, it's not so random, but... MiX actually think of getting rid of that EX Giant Bomb? No, says no. Drops the perfect pitch and the assault. Gets an assault back and a grasp. Of course, Mole will do the Mole thing of Mole prep, turn 1, move that bird to range 3. Let's see how aggressive MiX plays this, because MiX does, in theory, have a play, like grafting assault, using that Berserker's Brew. He's zooming in on that Berserker's Brew, he's actually thinking about it, and then, like, discarding Grasp and Dive and playing EX Giant Bomb, and then get advantage and prep afterward. Oh, interesting. Why? MiX is choosing to discard the assault and then graft on the dive instead, so won't get advantage. Really putting all of his eggs into one basket here, because if this gets blocked, then that's catastrophic. Not catastrophic, that's pretty bad. for Plague Knight, because Plague Knight does have decent ways to recover cards in the form of Staff of Surging and Chain Reaction. Doesn't have those in hand right now, so we'll be sitting duck for a little while. Oh no, Reggie does have the block. That's so unfortunate. So this is gonna be a 9 power giant bomb. Right. 7. No, actually 10. No, 9 power, 9 power. Reggie drops 2 ultras and takes 1. Wait. Why do you take 1? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, MiX really going super aggressively here. Let's see if Reggie can take advantage of this. Notably, Reggie does have multiple advantage chaining cards because of Headbutt being a thing. But yeah, this felt really all in. Of course, MiX can choose his range afterward, whether he wants range 1 or range 2. Opts just take a step back to range 2, where that Headbutt's now on curve. MiX will be wild swinging this turn, because Reggie's almost assuredly striking. Does a shuffle, drops that Serum Supernus, and there is that Headbutt that we called. That Staff of Surging will not work. Reggie will advance, and then did Reggie actually strike from Burrow? I didn't see, but it looks like he did. Gates advantage as well. Will strike again. That perfect pitch will not do anything. And Mole Knight just crosses out, builds 3 gauge, has a huge life lead. Similar amount of cards, but 3 gauge on Mole Knight's side. And yeah, we can see just how risky that play was. As Plague has to spend a force to just step on the burrow. Reggie will strike anyway. Assault dive, spike mix up. I think maybe as MiX you just play the focus and pray. That's assault. Plays the focus, and it's the assault. Yeah, I mean, well done there, I guess, for MiX, but a little bit of a rough spot. Mole Knight has just succeeded, and you are still down a bunch of resources. Mole will now move that burrow. I guess it does take a couple turns. At the very least, it does take a couple turns for Mole to get fully set up as far as that burrow placement's concerned. Mole will now strike from there. At the very least, you do have blocks in hand. You can also play Focus and Pray. It's not Sweep. Sweep is the only 6 power option in Mole's deck. Just have 2 copies of it, but can play... Oh, it looks like MiX is actually just going to opt for exactly that. Let's Focus into Focus. Reggie will deal 4 damage and take 2 back. Very lucky for MiX that wasn't the Sweep, because that would be backbreaking. That would be game ending, even. As the light comes out from Plague Knight, gets matched by the Mole. Light, pretty decent threat for Plague Knight at range 1, because Plague Knight has the rightmost card, Staff of Surging, and Ignore Guard option at range 1. Mole actually also has an Ignore Guard option at range 1. His is only speed 3, though, I believe, Diving Dig. So yeah, let's see what MiX opts to do here. He has... It doesn't look like he has any good grafting options just yet as far as his hand is concerned. He's got 2 kind of duds in block. And that just seems like too much RNG there. Maybe think of boosting unexpected results. Oh, think of boosting the second copy of Berserker's Brew would allow him to thin his deck a little bit. But no, just opts for the Staff of Surging, draw 2 cards, now strike. After draw 2 cards, strikes with the cross, interestingly enough. Let's see if Reggie's able to suss this out with a Burrow Dig or a Grasp. Wow, even better. Calls out with the block push. Very, very nice, very sexy play there coming out from Reggie. Calling out the Grasp with the range 1 block, or calling out the cross, with the range 1 block push. Back to Reggie, who will of course reposition that burrow, and is doing quite well here as far as health is concerned. MiX does have the EX Long Pitch now at range 5. EX Long Pitch would be a 6 power option. Does Block Push have 6 card? Second copy of Block Push? If Reggie has second copy of Block Push, that's pretty bad for MiX. Assuming that he's thinking of striking with this EX long pitch. I mean, can't really strike with anything else. Can't graft on anything when you have a billion cards in your hand. Yeah, gonna swing for it and say, hey, I don't think you have the second copy of Block Push. Let's see if Reggie has it. So again, this will be 6 power. Block Push does have 6 guard and would hit back for 4 after armor. So 4 for 6 trade here would be very good for Reggie, who's already up 9 life. Where it would bring MiX down to 8, which is almost 1 combat territory. Can be 1 combat territory if it's a sweep off the burrow. Yeah, MiX zooming in on that block push. Oh no, second block push comes out, and that will trade well enough with the EX long pitch. MiX will have to spend 2 force as well. Can curate his hand a little bit, at least with this. So drops the spike. Maybe think about dropping a block as well. Has a second copy of block. We'll take 4 to Reggie's 6. And yeah, I mean, block push will push 1 back. So, I mean, Reggie did choose range 2 for his burrow, so maybe he doesn't have the best follow-up in theory. If he has the spike, that's just game over, I think. That's actually game over if Reggie has a spike. I think as Plague Knight, you're just kind of forced to block this and just hope. Yep. Plague Knight is forced to block, and it's not, it's the Cave-In. Interesting. This is a 6 power Cave-In. Don't really... I mean, I guess it's the... So Reggie did put the burrow at range 2 originally. Maybe that's the only range 3 option that he had, and he felt like he had to push the advantage a little bit. Or push the envelope there just a little bit. So MiX will have to discard 2 forces to take no damage here. Zooming in on that Berserker's Brew. Has an above curve range 3 option, so can in theory prep and then boost that second copy of that Berserker's Brew to play a 8 damage chain reaction that will refill the hand afterward. That's looking like a pretty decent play. That if Reggie doesn't have the second block, then he's just kind of like a sitting duck to it, and then if MiX is able to graft on that assault as well to that, then can gain advantage afterwards. So that's actually a good equalizing play that Plague Knight has, and then Plague Knight would be back up to at least 4 cards, if not more, at the end of that. So as MiX, I say spend the 2 gauge. Yeah, also spend the 2 focuses. We'll take nothing. Don't think you want to... Yeah, okay, MiX is falling out the game plan. Okay, he's seen the game plan. So the game plan here, of course, is boosting triple dose, dropping that Castle Crasher and that perfect pitch. We'll play that EX chain reaction. Mulges off some mole prep, just a null turn there. Has to discard the dive, and yeah, here it is. Full 3 force, EX chain reaction. Pop that assault on as well. Can't cross out of this one either. Hand of dive, grass, spike, cross, sweep afterwards. So that chain reaction is known. So it's blocker take 8 from Reggie. So the only problem I can see here is that MiX will draw a handful of normals, but it doesn't matter because he's gonna get advantage, so he can just change cards to normals. Would be stuck with 1 normal left in his hand afterward, which is unfortunate as Reggie's Wild Swings doesn't have the block. Sad. That Burrow Dig won't do anything. Reggie will take 8. Health totals equalized. Resources as well equalized. I mean, just Plague Knight things, right? As Plague Knight has 4 cards in hand, that dive is bottom decked. MiX checking for a reading. 1 reading is available, of course. I think we knew that. Because the double focus was played on game 1 from Reggie. Does MiX have to change cards 8? Maybe CC7? CC7, draw 8, discard the dive is a way to get rid of all the no normals. You keep 1 gauge. You can keep 1 gauge. If you do that. Maybe that's the play that MiX needs to go for. To avoid getting red. We saw 9 cards in deck, 7 cards in hand from Reggie, so a good chance, just mathematically, a good chance that reading is still in hand. So yeah, I think we have to go for a big CC here for MiX. I don't really see any other play to get rid of all these normals. Plus, if you drop that block from the gauge, there's a good chance that you get a block back. we're going to see exactly the play. Mix knows what's up. Draws that dive. We'll draw 7 more, and then we'll discard the dive almost assuredly. Doesn't want to get that dive red. And yeah, looking at this hand, we've drawn both blocks as well from Mix, so can actually lame it out here for a little bit longer until he gets the appropriate card that he needs to close out the game. Does have that Serum Superiorness. Maybe that's a game closer. Range 3 with the spike. Makes the spike on curve. Unblockable 7 damage. And this is almost, doesn't matter what this is, it's getting blocked. It is the headbutt. Which means that Reggie will gain advantage. However, second block left for Mix. So I guess the only thing Mix has to concern himself with is this is a 6 power. This is a 6 power headbutt. How much force? Like, what cards do I want to spend? Probably drop the Staff of probably drop the Spike and the Perfect Pitch, maybe. No, Spike could be your game plan to win the game. Spike with Castle Crusher could be your game plan to win the game. Drop the Staff of Surging, and then drop the Gauge, of course. Okay, to take nothing. Yep. That makes perfect sense to me. Back to Reggie here, who will initiate an EX Spike? Just saying, hey, you don't have the cross to beat EX Spike? Because I just saw you drop a Staff of Surging? I don't know what else this could be. Could it be EX? Can't be even EX Dive. It just feels like EX Spike. Just cross out, man. Yeah. There's the cross from Mix. Yeah, that's just, I mean, I guess Reggie goes for it. Says, okay, I don't think you've drawn a block and a spike. Unfortunately, both were drawn. Prepare action coming out from Mix, because Mole has 1 turn to reposition that burrow. Now with EX Spike gone, however, Mix can just, in theory, block this next strike that Reggie will do and, like, come in. Right, like, Reggie will also surely be coming in. Actually, maybe not. Maybe Reggie plays cross. But Reggie will almost assuredly be striking with Burrow in the near future. Both spikes down. Interesting enough, checking for dives. I wonder what's going on there. Checking for dives. But Mix does not. I feel like Mix actually does not have to move in here. If he does, he's going to move in and stand on that burrow. Oh, that's why he's checking for dives. So he's thinking of moving, standing in on top of that burrow and saying, hey, how many range 4 options do you have? Because we know both block pushes are down, but we did see a dive left. So Mix may be thinking of spending 2 force as opposed to spending that perfect pitch to advance 3, allowing Mole Knight to strike from the burrow. Maybe just spend 2 forces to move 2 on stand on top. Yep, makes sense to me. So yeah, I mean, anti-Mole Knight gameplay is often just taking move actions and standing on the burrow. So this is pretty standard stuff from Mix. Did have the perfect pitch to boost, but that advances exactly 3, as the belly slide boost comes out with a before advance 2 on it. That's like that can be relatively scary. That's a good boost, does cost a force, but that's just a good boost, man. Of course, Mix is like totally fine, like has the block. Mix searching, making sure that Reggie does have a block left. He still does. Reggie just checking his deck. I think he only has like maybe 2 cards left in his deck. This before advance 2 looks like a cross is a threat here. At speed 6, just a poke for 3 and back to safety. Of course, Mix can't do anything about it. It has no guarded fireball. Mix opting to prep, discard. Okay. Says I'm perfectly content in my situation. And honestly, looking at the hand, why wouldn't you be? EX Spike down. Block is free. Just reset the situation. Yeah. As Fierce gets boosted from Reggie. A little bit of additional power. Again, doesn't really matter too much. But could this be time to graft on before close 2 on the spike with Serum Superiorness? No, because of the before advance 2. If the before advance 2 wasn't there, then it would be the time, almost assuredly. But there, we found like a win con for, or Plague Knight has found a win con. Plague Knight has always had that win con of Serum Superiorness into Spike, but now can tack on that Assault from range 4. As MiX looks like he's checking out all the fast options that Mole Knight has. Found himself one copy of Cross, one copy of Grasp, and excuse me, 0 copies of Grasp, and 1 copy of Burrow Dig left for fast options. No copies of Headbutt. So possibly looking for ways for this Spike to be outsped, maybe this Serum Superiorness Spike to be outsped. Notably, Cross does not work. Because Cross will bring him back to range 3. Oh, and here comes the Serum Superiorness. We'll tack on that Assault. I even like this obfuscation of like, hey, pull a card. Pulls the Assault before close 2. And yeah, MiX is ready. He's throwing out a yes power 5 speed before close 2 Spike. Says, hey, Reggie, deal with this. And can Reggie deal with this? With Cross down. I mean, yeah, Cross down. Cross doesn't matter. But Headbutt down, excuse me. Because Headbutt can force Spike to get too close, but Headbutts are down. No gauge for Cave-In. No gauge for Erupt. Erupt doesn't matter, but no gauge for Cave-In. Is this it? Is this checkmate? I mean, Focus is not going to do anything. Yeah, I mean, that's a Spike. I think that's checkmate. Wow. MiX takes game 2 off the back of Plague Knight shenanigans. Of course, revealing that he had that EX Assault, so the choice actually didn't matter. Oh, right. Weirdly enough, needed just a fast option. Because of I forgot about the before close 2 that's Mole Knight had. So the thing is, if Burrow Dig was played, right, at speed 7, it would be before close 2, as MiX goes up in the set 2-0. And is now going to be bringing out that Propeller Knight. But if Reggie had that Burrow Dig, then Burrow Dig would advance to miss. But then that before close 2 that was grafted on the Spike would bring Spike too close. So that's what Reggie just needed, the fast option. I guess he didn't have it. And that's what MiX was checking. MiX was checking for fast options for that reason, because of before close 2. And I guess Reggie just didn't have the Burrow Dig in hand, went for the Wild Swing, didn't work out. A little bit unfortunate there, but yeah, MiX kind of takes game 2 away after a really, really rough start as far as resources were concerned. We saw Mole Knight exceed at 26 life, but I mean, Plague Knight with those Ultra Boosts, man, is just a menace. As Mole Knight will opt to go first again for game 3. Reggie's gone first every single time. Apologies, I'm just grabbing some water. I actually might get up and get some water. I don't know if that's the play. That seems like the play. I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I kind of forgot that I was still recording, and it's a post-com. I could have just stopped the recording and then started it over again. But, we're doing it live. We're doing legit. Did not bring my big water bottle today, so just have the small one, so it runs out quite quickly. Looks like a lot has already happened. Looks like if I had to guess, like a turn one dive into propeller pull or turn one block into propeller pull into dive or something, whatever. We're here now. Looks like propeller initiating a strike at range 1 with that defend boost could be like a saber lunge. Yep, is a saber lunge. We'll dodge that EX sweep. Huh? I didn't even look at that hand, and I called it out to be saber lunge, and Reggie unfortunately incorrectly calls it out. Goes for the EX sweep. Big loss of resources there. Into the range 4 strike. Propeller has like 3 different options as headwind, propeller pull, and dive. Will be the headwind, which will deal 3 damage, beating out the outspeeding assault because of course MiX initiated. So back to Reggie here, who just opts for the mole prep, and propeller will exceed. Just plop himself back down right on that burrow. Back to Mole Knight here. Boosts that belly slide before advance 2. Again, good boost. I think MiX will just prep here. Yeah, opts for the prep. Really, really kind of bad cards here from MiX to deal. Not really well equipped to deal with this. Did Reggie just wild swing? Swoop is pretty good. Yeah, swoop is very good. Swoop will dodge. So yeah, at the cost of 1 force, swoop will move. We'll have to move basically 2 spaces or 3. Opts to put 2 spaces. Mole Knight will then stand on his own burrow and miss. Wow. Good wild swing there from MiX. And kind of risky there going for that burrow dig. Again, I don't know if that was a wild swing or not, but as Reggie's striking here, almost assuredly feels like cross. Or the headbutt, yeah. I mean, cross and headbutt are essentially the same thing. Mole Knight will have to retreat, won't get advantage, but will hit for 4. That sweep will miss. Range 5 though means that that cannonball is looking pretty good. Will get countered by the block push. But I mean, trades 4 for 5. Is that acceptable? I mean, you have EX cannonball in your hand even. Maybe you just swing with it. I mean, 5 for 4 is a pretty decent trade. Only 2 cards in hand for Reggie as well. That EX Cannonball would be a 4 to 6, 5 4, 5 4 5 or something. 5 4 1 5. Ignores armor as well, so can't even block out of it. Yeah, looks like Reggie just has to wild swing if he doesn't have that block push in hand. Well, let's see it. Gets the block push. Okay, I mean, that's something. Reggie will take 5 and then deal 4 back. Propeller will advance 2 and then we'll get pushed 1 back to range 5. Are they not pushing? They should be pushing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They didn't push. Because they were at range 5. MiX pushed to range 6. And then MiX advanced 2. But block push didn't push. Did they fix it? I hope they fix it. Because this is wrong. This is like an incorrect game state. Or at least I hope. No, this is almost assuredly an incorrect game state. Yeah, no, this is bad. This is really bad. Like this should have never like from this point on, it should have never like happened, you know? As the cave-in will like weirdly deal with the saber lunge. Saber lunge will deal. Oh no, wait, no, it won't, because it'll do 1 damage and get stunned out. Cave-in, huh? Cave-in to beat the assault or the dive. I mean, the assault more so, but yeah. Cave-in only has 3 armor, so can't really deal too well with the 4 damage of saber lunge. MiX doesn't want to, and like on top of that, MiX can't advance, but that's okay because like MiX probably prefers range 3 to range 1 here. especially because he's standing on top of that burrow. Reggie has no gauge. He has 0 gauge. Like nowhere close to exceeding. This is looking really, really bad for Reggie. Like really, really bad. Huh. Let's take a step back and play that propeller pull, that sweep like. Notably doesn't get the discard effect on it. Reggie forced to wild swing again. At least gets the block. This is gonna be a 6 power propeller pull. And Reggie will get to initiate from burrow this turn if he so pleases. Maybe get a little bit of mix up going. But this is looking so bad for Reggie. He only has 1 gauge. I don't even know what happened to his other gauge, honestly. Maybe he just spent it on various endeavors like the belly slide boost or the cave-in, of course. He spent 2 gauge on the cave-in. Yeah, not really a play I see a lot from Mole Knight. I feel like every time I play Mole Knight, I just rush for the 4 gauge, and every time I've seen Reggie play Mole Knight, he also does the same. Okay. Mix just says, okay, you're at range 1, block, whatever. Yeah, and Diving Dig will pull a card first. Pulls that full broadside. But Mix will just say, okay, I'll discard the other Ultra, take nothing. Reggie does build that 2nd gauge at the very least. Mix striking. I didn't actually see what that card was that he's striking with. It's not the cross, interestingly enough, but Reggie's striking with cross. Oh, it is cross. It's just he just had EX cross in hand. As Reggie will take 3, propeller puts himself back at range 5. Block push is free at least. As is like a dive from burrow. Mix says, okay, you really have the 2nd block push in hand. Assault's pretty good. It'll move him 1 closer than he is now. 2nd block push down, though. So now range 4 is not great. So yeah, Mole will have to spend a turn moving that burrow. Mix draws the 2nd launcher. Just immediately mashes it. Belly slide. Good answer. So this launcher will do 4 damage after armor. And the belly slide will hit back for 4. Notably, like this, I don't know what the rules are for game state or anything, but like the game state was barked. Mix will do the shuffle back, and 2nd cross will beat out that headbutt. That is so sad. That's so sad. Yeah, I guess Reggie. I mean, like, why would you expect EX cross in that hand, right? As Reggie finally gets to exceed, gets that burrow going. Mix has a ton of gauge, maybe thinking of whether he wants to change cards now or maybe reshuffle. With only 1 card in hand, down a bunch of his ranged options, but no, just opting for the reshuffle, or opting for the change cards, excuse me. It's going to be a change card 6. I feel like he wants to do a change cards 5. Yep. Puts that cannonball back. Change cards 5, drawing 6. Drops the assault as well, so just gets a fresh hand, draws 7. Gets a block going as well. Reggie, unfortunately, has to reposition the burrow. I think it would have been great if he didn't have to reposition the burrow, but he does. Propeller Knight moving 1, striking with that speed 5 option. Focus will mitigate most of that damage, will just deal 1. Reggie will draw a card, replace his card. At least has an opportunity to strike here from the burrow at range 1, but Mix has the 2nd block, so, like... Mix checking for sweeps. I mean, that's the most threatening option there at 8 power. At 8 power, discard a card as well. Not too many cards left from Reggie, actually. We can actually kind of attempt to deduce what kind of card this could be. So let's see if Mix goes for... So Mix checks for focus for sweep as well, so that way you can attempt to play focus. And yeah, that focus will deal with that burrow dig quite well. Will deal 4 damage back after taking 3. And yeah, of course, Mix checking for sweep because as we identified in game 1, sweep is the only singleton card that deals 8 damage. Mix checking for blocks and grasps and headbutts and crosses. Sees none, so we'll just step forward, grasp, and that should be game. So yeah, Mix takes the set 3-0. Actually, I'm assuming that the set's over, but yeah, Mix looks like he will take the set 3-0 over Reggie's Mole Knight. Really well played. from MiX. Really, really, really good. This was textbook anti-Mole Knight gameplay of basically just, denying that burrow, and that focus will not do enough. As MiX takes us at 3-0. But yeah, this was just really good textbook anti-Mole Knight gameplay, I think, of just identifying identifying the correct times to stand on the burrow, deny the burrow. Identifying was pretty good at identifying what mix-ups Reggie wanted to throw as well. And actually I feel like all three characters that MiX brought today did a relatively good job of dealing with Mole Knight as well, just as far as matchups. Like we spoke earlier, and how I thought the Mole Knight Carmine matchup was fine, but MiX looked pretty comfortable in that as well. The Plague Knight game felt like a bit of a steal, just because that early turn one like gaff was like really, really bad. But Plague Knight, of course, is a character that can kind of rebuild the hand really quickly, as we stated before. Just needed to draw the right cards early enough for that, and that happened. And of course, Mole Knight is going to be spending a ton of time just preparing in more ways than one, right? Preparing as in the action, but also preparing to strike by moving the burrow around to the appropriate range. So I guess maybe in hindsight, not the worst bet to take as MiX as Plague Knight in that. And this propeller gameplay was very, very good. Propeller into Mole. Just being able to just do the propeller shimmy, just step forward, strike, step back, strike. Just deny the value of the burrow as well. Just really well done from MiX. Commiserations to Reggie, who will be now 1-1 in the tournament. MiX moves on to 2-0. So I think this tournament does not have a bracket after it. It's just the Swiss. So I think like Reggie's can no longer take first place. However, MiX can. MiX can take 2 tournaments in a row. Which would, can anyone stop this man? Can anyone stop this man? Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment if you have any specific comments or anything like that. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, MiX will move on to 2-0. This was the Hallowed Nights tournament run in the Breakfast Club server. If you can, I think there's a link somewhere in one of my older videos to the Breakfast Club's Discord if you're interested in it. It's basically like a custom making server to my knowledge, but now they're running tournaments. I don't really know what's going on there. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.